How's it going, everyone? Finally, it's once more earnings seasons, and we're starting off with red in the market, but we have a couple of big companies reporting earnings this week, and we're going to go to give you their EPS, what those companies stand for, and of course, I'm going to give you my personal opinion, what I think that those companies are going to do. So let's get started with Monday. We're going to have, first of all, KB Homes. They're expected to report, which is a home builder, of course, and they're expected to report a EPS of 2.44 cents a share. Then you have that VFD Incorporated. This is a bank expected to report a 0.65 cents also on Monday. And the last company that we have on Monday is Air Test Systems, which is a semiconductor testing equipment. This is such an interesting company. It's pretty much flat on, this is year to date. Well, it's negative because the entire industry is going down. But on the entire year, it has minus 16%, and it's really up from its founding in 1988, within the last 5 years up 700%. But in all time is barely up 2.24%. So watch out for this company. As always, this is not financial advice. Please consult a financial advisor when you're investing in stocks. Okay, let's move on to Wednesday. That's where it really counts. We're going to start out with JPMorgan reporting earnings. JPMorgan is on a tear. One of the bigger major banks out there, expected to report around a $3.95 or $4 a share. These are only estimates. Who knows what they're going to report, but they are looking good. JPMorgan are really looking good. Next up, we're going to have Wells Fargo reporting earnings. Also a bank, not as big as JPMorgan, because JPMorgan just eats up all of the banks. And they're expected to report a EPS of 1.34, so a earnings per share. That's what EPS stands for. For those of you who don't know, a earnings per share 1.34, 1.35-ish dollars per share. Okay, Goldman Sachs is up next. We're going to have Goldman Sachs, a investment bank. This is really interesting because investment banking was thought in the last year that's going to go down. But actually, if we take a look at, let's compare JP Morgan to Goldman Sachs and also Wells Fargo. If you would have stuck with Wells Fargo, actually not Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo is much more up there, up 46% over a year. Over 5 years, if you would have stuck with Goldman Sachs, you would have a really good 128% return. Not as good as the Magnificent Seven, but it's up there. It's up. It's also a bank, so come on, let's be honest. And then we have BlackRock Asset Management. BlackRock is expected to report a EPS around $11.44 a share. After that, we have Citigroup. They're expected to report, also a bank, report a $1.22 a share. And after that, we have some honorable mentions because I'm not going to go over each and one of them. We have Bank of New York Mellon Corp, ticker symbol BK. Custody Bank of Financial Services, expected to report a $1.51 a share. Then we have Synovus Financial Corp, also a bank, ticker symbol SNV, expected to report a $1.15 a share. And after that, the very last one that is going to report is Home Bank Shares Inc., ticker symbol HOMB, a bank, of course, expected to report a $0.52 a share. Now, on Thursday, it's getting really important because one of those companies that the CEO was sadly killed, and we're talking last year, and we're talking here about United Health Corporations. It's in the healthcare business, insurance actually, and they are expected to report on Thursday a $6.74 a share. I'm massively invested in United Health, so I am extremely interested on how they're going to report. They're also going to report back each and every day on the major corporations that are going to report what their earnings and especially what their forecast is. That is important for future stock price, the forecast. Not only the earnings, but the forecast for future earnings. Okay, then we have Bank of America, a bank expected to report earnings. Who would have thought that that's a bank? Expected to report a EPS of $0.77 a share. And after that, we have Morgan Stanley, which is expected to report also bank. This is the direct opposite of Morgan Stanley's investment bank, and they're expected to report a $1.64 a share. We have a couple of smaller banks, that's PNC Financial Services Group, expect to report a $3.3 a share, and US Bancorp. I'm just going to go through quickly over them. US Bancorp, ticker symbol USB, expect to report $1.05 a share. Then M&T Bank Corporation, ticker symbol MTB, expected to report a $3.7 a share. After that, we have JB Hunt Transportation Services, Trucking and Logistics. This is a very important one. Expected to report a EPS of $1.62 a share. Then we have First Horizon Corporation, bank, smaller bank, expected to report a $0.39 a share. And of course, Bank OZK, expected to report a $1.44 a share. Bank First Corporation, expected to report a $1.62 a share. Independent Bank Corp, expected to report a $1.16 a share. And now we're going to move to Friday. Friday, we have one of the regional banks, biggest regional banks, Truist Financials. This was a long-term investment for me. money. I bought it, I sold it, I bought it, I sold it. I have a lot of history with Truth Financials. Made some money, lost some money. That's how trading works, not investing. If I would have invested, it would have brought me a minus 23% over the last 5 years. So no, it's a regional bank. Don't think about knowing what regional banks will do. They can go bottoms up very quickly. So regional bank expected to report a EPS of $0.88 a share. And then we have Schlumberger, ticker symbol SLB, oil field services, expected to report a $0.9 a share. Then we have one industrial and construction supplier. This is a very interesting one. The Fastenal Company expected to report a $0.48 a share. And a couple of honorable mentions at the end. State Street Corp, symbol STT, expected to report a $2.38 a share. Huntington Bancshares, a bank, expected to report a $0.41 a share. Regional Financials Corporation expected to report a $0.55 a share. Citizens Financial Corporation Bank also expected to report a $0.82 a share. So the market, that's all with the report. If I forgot something, please leave it in the comment section below. I hope I covered everything. So that's it for the banks that are going to report earnings. So a lot of banks, a lot of financial. The financial institute is going to check this out. There are a lot of companies in the financial sector. Now we're expecting from them to report good earnings, but it's not the earnings that are interesting. It's the forecasts that is going to be much more interesting. So what will the bank forecast? That is what is important to us, because knowing what the banks forecast, because after knowing their forecast, where, for example, Goldman Sachs expects a 3% return from the S&P 500 over the next 10 years, maybe they know something we don't know. So if there's a crack somewhere, the financial sector will be hit first, and we're going to know what's what. So stick around. As soon as the companies report earnings, are going to come back with updates and a couple of stock analysis on those companies, going through their earnings report. So definitely stick around. If you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing. Please like and share this video. This helps out the channel. It also helps me out. Stay safe out there. Catch you next time on NordVPN. Bye bye.